All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to talk about an idea that takes the traditional path to wealth and just throws it right out the window. So forget everything you've ever heard about starting with stocks because we're about to explore the actual blueprint the ultra successful use. Yeah, I know, it's a pretty bold question, but what if all the advice you've been fed, the very foundation of your financial plan, is actually the one thing that's holding you back from creating real wealth? Let's go ahead and challenge that conventional wisdom right now. And this really lays it all out. On one side, you've got the path everyone tells you to take. Save a little money, put it in the market, cross your fingers, and hope it works out in like 30 or 40 years. But on the other side, you see a completely different starting line, and that's investing in yourself. This is the fundamental flip we're talking about today. Okay, so let's break this down. Why is jumping straight into stocks and real estate such a flawed strategy for most of us? Well, because it's like trying to build the roof of a house before you've even poured the foundation. You're trying to grow money that you don't really have enough of, using skills you haven't really developed yet. It's a recipe for going nowhere slowly. So what's the answer? Well, it's simple. We just flip the script. Instead of starting at the top of the pyramid with all these complex assets, we're going to start at the very bottom and build a rock-solid base. This is the four-stage framework that lets you build wealth from the ground up, making sure every single level can support the one on top of it. And here it is, the four stages. In order. It all begins with your health. That's step one. From there, you build up your skills. Step two. Then you use those skills to build a business. Step three. And only then, only as the very last step, do you start focusing on financial assets. Now, this is absolutely crucial. You cannot skip a step. So let's dive into the most critical part of this entire blueprint, building your personal foundation. Seriously, this is where you need to invest your first dollar and your first hour, long before you even think about checking the stock market. I know what you might be thinking. My health? Really? But listen, this is completely non-negotiable. Your health, we're talking physical and mental energy, is your single greatest asset. Without it, you just don't have the stamina, the focus, or the longevity you need to build anything worthwhile. It's the absolute bedrock for everything else. Okay, so once your health is dialed in, you move on to investing in high-value skills, things like coding, sales, marketing, persuasive writing. This becomes the engine for your income. See, getting really good at something the market pays well for is the most direct path to boosting your earning potential and generating the cash you're going to need for the later stages. Okay, so now you're healthy, you're energized, and you've got skills that are making you good money. Now, it gets really fun. This is where you're ready to scale. We're about to move into the stages that create true leverage and wealth, getting you way beyond just trading your time for a paycheck. Think of a business as a giant megaphone for your skills. Instead of just doing the work yourself one-on-one, you build a system, a product, a service, something that can deliver that value to a ton of people at once. This is how you generate significant, scalable cash flow. And that brings us to the final stage, the one where most conventional advice tells you to start. But in this blueprint, you only start investing in stocks, real estate, and all that after your business is spitting out serious profits. See the difference? You're not just scraping by investing your spare change. At this point, you're deploying significant capital. So that's the four-stage roadmap. But let's be real. How do you actually speed up the process? I mean, how do you get through these stages faster? Well, the key is you don't go it alone. The secret weapon here is a toolkit for strategic mentorship. And this concept is just brilliant. Instead of just hoping you bump into the right people, you proactively build what's called a Centurion Council. Basically, you make a list of 100 people you really admire who could guide you. Now, you're not going to contact all of them, but what you're doing is creating a strategic map for your network. You're building your own personal board of directors. Okay, so you've got your list, but how in the world do you reach out to these people without your email getting instantly deleted? Simple. You use the PAC script. It's a really easy four-step formula. P is for personalize. Show them you've actually done your homework. A is for add value. Find a way, any way, to help them first. C is for credibility. Give them a quick reason why they should listen to you. And finally, K is for keep it short. Respect their time, get straight to the point. When it's all said and done, this entire strategy really just boils down to this one powerful idea. Before you invest in any company, any piece of property, or any other asset out there, you have to first become your own greatest asset. It's that simple, but it's everything. So as we wrap up, The big question isn't about which stock you should pick tomorrow. Forget about that. The real question is much more personal. When you look at your own foundation, your health and your skills, what's the very first thing you're going to build? What's that first brick you're going to lay? Think about it.